We'll move on to some fun now, if you can call it that. A lot of people take this kind of serious in their, in their various corners of the internet that they live on. But this whole coronavirus pandemic has obviously encouraged and fostered the whole conspiracy theory mindset, with lots of people jumping in with all sorts of things. I guess maybe, as a side thing, you've got the leader of the supposed free world potentially propagating some of this stuff as well. So I guess that kind of helps with all of that sort of stuff going out. But there's where I did want to start though was I saw a documentary on the ABC's Four Corners I think it was a couple of weeks ago, which covered the 5G conspiracy. Which, if you don't already know and you want to look it up and amuse yourselves, it's the idea that the 5G network is somehow a transmitter for the virus. So they have to take all those towers down, burn them all down, and there were people, watching Telstra around the clock. I think there was some people in a van watching a mobile phone tower to make sure that it wasn't going to get upgraded to 5G. This is just crazy stuff, and I can just remember the chief medical officer for Australia coming out at one point, and I could see he was clearly exasperated at the fact that he had to actually respond to it and say that it was nonsense. And it's just fascinating that the way these people actually, the conviction with which they say they believe that this is true is quite disturbing in a way.
Oh, it's very disturbing, and it's worth noting that the 5G conspiracy was around before Corona. So before Corona, it was just 5G was just going to kill us, right? And basically goes right back, if you want to trace it right back to the original mobile phone days, where mobile phones were going to give us all brain tumours and we're all going to die. Now I think 25 years on, the fact that the human race is all glued to a mobile phone today probably goes to show that they're not as deadly as they made out 25 years ago. That conspiracy meme has then just continued along its way, and for some reason 5G, because it's more powerful, more prolific, has reignited that. And then Corona came along at the right time, and somebody makes a comment that links the two, and we have a whole new 5G and Corona conspiracy going. And I don't know what it takes to believe this sort of thing. I've seen the people like you on interviewed. They're certainly convinced. For me, it's just a leap too far.
Well, if I was going to believe one version of it, if that's obviously a massive if, it would be we're living in a radiation soup. I think that's the way they described it. But of course, they don't think about 3G or 4G being able to do the same thing. But anyway, it's amusing to say the least.
Not to mention AM and FM radio as well.
Exactly. But
and your microwave.
Yeah, exactly. But that's not obviously the only one that's going around. Just one that's even more basic than that is that it's a complete hoax. So the idea that the sovereign citizens out there that are saying that it's an excuse for governments, etc., to take away your human rights and all that sort of stuff, to live in a free society, etc. This one obviously takes a number of different variations and forms, but it's basically at the crux of it is that, and that's where you see people on the street, yelling at police and all that sort of stuff, and it's really just average.
But I will say this for that one. I mean, that one exists. Whenever there's some sort of crisis like this one always comes up. It's a restriction of civil liberties or an erosion of them. And I kind of like this conspiracy theory in that I think at its roots it at least provokes maybe some thinking about the situation. But to suggest that Corona is a hoax, I mean, that at least, if you're not going crazy, well, then maybe you can have a good laugh at it. Like, it's just, well, I don't think it's a hoax. Do you, Ben?
Absolutely not. The one,
although with this conspiracy we can never be sure.
That's right. Well, the only classic example I can point to, which I think we mentioned a couple of episodes ago, was that TV talk show guy in America that was broadcasting that it was a hoax, and then his son got it, and then he tweeted out, "Oh, sorry guys, it's actually real." You know?
Yeah.
I mean, sad for him and his family.
It's always unreal until it's real.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. What about this one that all the precautions are overkill? You know, like all this stuff that they're talking about with social distancing and hygiene and all of that, and that doesn't necessarily do much of anything. I mean, I wonder,
do you think some people make this stuff up to try and get a bit more of the spread? I mean, if you accept coronavirus is real, which we just had a bit of a chuckle, it's pretty hard not to accept that it's real. But if you accept it's real, and even if you want to believe that it's only a little flu, okay, that's another
one
myth that's out there. But even if you want to believe that, we all know that the flu is real, and we know how the flu spreads, and we know that you could prevent that by keeping your distance, etc., etc. So once again, I can't see how anyone can really make that leap of faith to think that the precautions are a hoax.
Absolutely. All right. Well, what about a more, political, nefarious one where it's like the idea that it's some sort of bioweapon created by pick your country of choice, of course, that it originated in a lab somewhere and it was targeted, etc.
Well, if we hadn't seen this in that many movies, this exact plot, look, I think it's actually a fair assumption that it could be. I really do think it's a fair assumption. But if you really look around and search for the evidence, because if you're a conspiracy theorist, you should be a good detective. And so if you really look into these things, you won't find any evidence that it is a bioweapon. And I have looked into it because I was curious, because I think it's worth a lot of the premises for these conspiracy theories, I think, are valuable in terms of questioning.
Yeah.
But, it's up to you if you're going to question it. It's up to you to do a little bit of investigation and try and find the truth for yourself, just like Fox and Mulder.
But isn't that the classic thing, the questioner? So a lot of these conspiracy theorists won't question the actual conspiracy theory itself.
No, that's right.
To wrap it in on itself, of course.
That's right. You assume the conspiracy theory is right in the face of all evidence against it.
Okay, and what about this one where Trump looks bad?
Well, that's a good one. It certainly serves a purpose for Donald Trump. I think that'd probably be one that he's very big on. I just think he looks bad. Whether you look at Corona or anything else, I don't think Corona makes him look any worse if that's what the conspiracy's asking.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess there's one here too about FDA approved drugs that can prevent or treat COVID-19 that are being, suppressed. I guess the hydroxychloroquine and all that stuff that is put out there. But yeah, why would they hold that? What interest would there be for them to hold any of that stuff back if it actually worked?
If they had stuff that worked, it would be out there now, and there'd be a conspiracy theory that the pharmaceutical companies had invented COVID to sell their drugs. So, you can't win. I don't think there's... Given the conspiracy theory that recognises how greedy the pharmaceutical companies are, I can't believe that they'd be withholding the drugs. How's that?
Yeah, there you go. There's always a rebuttal. And just finally, there was I had to laugh at this one when I saw it, and I'll explain this one in a bit more detail. But the idea that COVID-19 is a ruse to distract us from a doomsday asteroid, which was basically based off a viral Facebook post that claimed that NASA and the Vatican were hiding the discovery of an asteroid on its way to demolish our planet. And the best way to hide that, come up with a highly contagious virus and put it out there to distract everyone.
I kind of like this one once again, and I think it's got merit. But if anyone can explain to me why the Vatican's working with NASA, I'd love to know.
It seems like an oddly unique pairing, to say the least.
it's so crazy. It must be true.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. Maybe there's a historical precedence with, I don't know, former members of the church or something with being astronomers or something like that. I don't know.